Hi everyone, how you all going? This is my review of Flight Risk. Now, Flight Risk was directed by Mel Gibson, the first movie directed by him since Hacksaw Ridge, which came out in 2016, which was a fantastic film. Flight Risk stars Mark Wahlberg, Topher Grace, and Michelle Dockery. Plot is very straightforward. In the movie, Michelle Dockery plays a U.S. Marshal, Deputy Harris, who tracks down a fugitive at a hotel named Winston Duke, and then he agrees to give state's evidence against his employer Moretti, this mob boss, in exchange for immunity. And then basically, so she tracks him down in Alaska. They then board a plane on like headed towards New York, where basically Winston will testify at Moretti's trial. And the pilot in the movie is played by Mark Wahlberg. Character's name is Daryl Booth. But then as the movie unfolds, and this was spoiled in the trailer as well. I don't know why they spoiled this in the trailer. I think it would have been better to actually keep it secret. But as the movie progresses, we find out that the pilot, played by Mark Wahlberg, is actually a hitman working for Moretti, who's been assigned to actually kill Winston to prevent Winston from actually testifying against Moretti at his oncoming trial. Now let's start off with what I did like. I like Mark Wahlberg's performance. I thought Mark Wahlberg gave a good performance, not one of the best performances of all time, but I appreciated the fact that he actually looked like he made effort in this performance. Like he gave effort in his performance. And I initially also believed that the bald head in the movie was actually a bald cap. It turns out he actually shaved his head during filming. This movie was filmed over 22 days in 2023. Topher Grace I thought was pretty good personally, was quite funny at times, but yeah, I personally quite liked him. Michelle Dockery, on the other hand, I found her bland for most of the movie. There was one scene where she did stand out, but for the most part, I found her quite bland and uninteresting. The only scene where I thought she sort of stood out a bit was when she finds out that her boss, Coleridge, was the one is actually the mole within the marshal's department who's been working with Moretti, and after she finds out that he actually killed Caroline, who Harris talks to on the phone during the movie, she loses it and lashes out. I thought she was pretty good in that scene. So yeah, the performances, I like Mark Wahlberg, I like Topher Grace. Michelle Dockery I didn't like too much, although I thought there was one scene she did stand out in. There were a couple of decent action sequences. So for example, one scene where they fly through a mountain. There's another scene where, and also at the very end when she crash lands the plane on that carrier, I thought that was pretty good as well. At that landing port. What I didn't like, a lot of stupid scenes. So essentially, in the movie, Harris tases Daryl, who's actually not revealed to not be Daryl. We find out that Mark Wahlberg's character actually killed the real Daryl and took on his persona. So yeah, that then basically throughout the entire movie, she keeps him alive because it's the right thing to do. But then also, yeah, Daryl tells Harris if she shoots him, the bullet will go through him and hit the fuel line, and then that'll cause an explosion. So, but then throughout the movie, there are multiple times where he breaks loose, and she still refuses to kill him. He gets loose quite a few times, and that whole keeping him alive, I thought was quite stupid because at the start I can see why, but there is a thing known as self defense as well because he tries to kill Winston and Harris multiple times. He actually stabs Winston twice when he breaks free, like the third time or the fourth time, whatever. He actually stabs Winston twice, and yet she still does not kill him. So I thought that was quite stupid. Also, in the movie, she makes contact with this guy named Hassan. So Harris is trying to fly the plane. She finds out the pilot was actually a hitman. She's trying to work out how to fly the plane. She can't fly it. She's not a pilot. And then she makes contact with this guy named Hassan, who's like the horniest guy ever. He's like an Indian character, and he basically tries to ask her at every turn. Like he instructs on how to fly the plane, how to put on the autopilot, how to do such and such, and then he asks her out repeatedly, and then she actually goes along with it. And I just thought to myself, I thought was she? Yeah, I just found that whole thing of him asking her out repeatedly quite stupid and just really just awkward at times as well. Nothing I didn't like too much. This movie felt, for a large portion of the movie, it felt like it was shot in front of a green screen. Like, I know not every movie's going to have practical effects, and this movie had a very low budget, but just a lot of the movie looked like it was shot in front of green screen. I didn't like that too much. So, yeah, a lot of, just scenes that looked very, like, just the background and everything, it just looked very fake at times, which I also didn't like. There weren't as many thrills as I would have actually liked. But yeah, quite a few stupid scenes. Hassan I found very annoying, asking out Deputy Harris every second minute, etc. I do like the fact that they give Harris some backstory. We find out that she was actually taken off the field because she unintentionally caused a witness to die. So she allowed this witness, the girlfriend of a drug cartel boss, to actually take a shower unsupervised. Then someone actually threw a Molotov cocktail through the window, which killed the witness, and that caused to actually be taken off the field until that moment in the plane. So there is a bit of a backstory to her. The other two characters, though, Winston and Daryl, or the fake Daryl, played by Mark Wahlberg, not really much backstory at all, and I didn't like that very much. There wasn't a lot of character development aside from Harris, who I actually found to be the most bland character in the film. But look, in terms of pros, a couple of decent action sequences. I enjoyed Mark Wahlberg. I quite enjoyed Topher Grace. And the movie's not too long. It doesn't really overstay its welcome. It doesn't really, there are a couple scenes that do drag, but I wouldn't say it drags on too much. The runtime isn't too long. It's about an hour and 30 minutes. So yeah, it doesn't really overstay its welcome. And the ending I thought was quite satisfying. Like, not one of the best endings ever, but I thought the ending was at least somewhat satisfying, and it concluded things pretty well. So overall, my rating is a 6.5 out of 10. If you're a Mel Gibson fan, go check it out. If you're a die-hard Mel Gibson fan, then yes, go pay to go see it. I saw it, for a discount though. I wouldn't really pay full price unless you're a die-hard Mel Gibson fan. Otherwise, you can wait for streaming. My rating is a 6.5 out of 10. I don't hate this movie as much as other people do, but it's definitely not it's probably Mel Gibson's weakest movie that he's directed, and yeah, I would not strongly recommend it. But yeah, my rating's a 6.5 out of 10. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have a very good day, and take care, guys. All the best, and be sure to subscribe. All right, all the best. Bye.